Hello class, this is Chapter 5, Section 3 on Scientific Notation. This is the first section of your lesson for June 11th while I'm out of town. I'm going to do this in several short videos, so you want to make sure you watch each of them. I won't do every single example like I normally do in class. I'll pick and choose and do a couple in hopes of giving you enough of an understanding of what's going on. So the ones that I skip while we're doing this lesson, you should go back and see if you can accomplish for yourself. Okay, scientific notation simply provides us with a very compact way of writing really large or really small numbers. If a positive number is written in scientific notation, it's written in the form n times 10 to the n. That's large N times 10 to the small n, where the capital N is a number between 1 and 10, but you notice it said it can include 1 because of the line under there, cannot include 10 because there is no equal sign under that inequality. So it falls between 1 and 10 and can be 1 but can't be 10. And the 10 exponent is an integer. Remember, an integer can be positive or negative, just like we've been doing in the previous section of the chapter, but we don't have any fractions and we don't have any decimals. Okay, some examples of scientific notation. 2.43 times 10 cubed. 2.43 is a number between 1 and 10. 10 cubed is 10 raised to some power, an integer power. 3.26 times 10 to the negative 4. Again, 3.26 is a number between 1 and 10, and it's raised to an integer power. This time it's a negative number. If I want to write a number in standard notation that's already in scientific notation, I am simply multiplying. 2.43 times 10 cubed, back to that example, that's 2.43 times 1,000. 10 cubed, remember, is 1,000. So I'm multiplying 2.43 times 1,000, and that gives me 2,430. What I actually did there, from the 2.43, I moved my decimal point 3 places to the right to end up with 2,430. Okay, when I'm doing 3.26 times 10 to the negative 4, because that exponent is negative, remember I have to turn that into 1 over 10 to the 4th. Don't forget from your last lesson, we take a negative exponent, we make it positive by moving it across the fraction bar. So that's 1 over positive 10 to the positive 4. 10 to the 4 is 10,000, so I'm actually multiplying 3.26 times 1 over 10,000. That, of course, gives me 3.26 divided by 10,000. Your whole number gets multiplied by your numerator over your denominator. And then that gives me 0.000326. What happened there was my decimal point was behind the 3. Now it's 3 places in front of the 3, or I moved my decimal point 4 places to the left. Just like when I did 2.43 times 1,000, I had to add a 0 onto the end, called annexing a 0, in order to have enough spaces. When I take 3.26 and need to move my decimal point 4 places to the left, the first place takes me in front of the 3, but I need 3 more places. That's 1, 2, 3 more places. I don't have anything there, so I put some zeros there. Put my decimal point in front of that. And then I always like to put a 0 in front of your decimal point. That's better math. Okay, so let's do some of those. 4.34 times 10 to the 6. Remember, if I have a positive exponent, I'm moving my decimal point that many places to the right. So right now it's behind the 4. I move it 2 places by simply putting it behind the second 4. So far, I have moved it 2 places, and now I needed to move it 6. That means I have to put 4 zeros behind there. And now that's 4,340,000. Move down to 9.75 times 10 to the negative 3. That exponent is negative, which indicates that my decimal point needs to be moved to the left 3 places. I'm going to end up with a number smaller than 1. Positive exponent is always going to give me a number bigger than 1. Well, I shouldn't say always, depending on, well, yes, that it's true. It is always when I'm starting out with a number between 1 and 10. If I multiply by a number bigger than 1, I'm always going to get a number bigger than 1. When I start out with a number between 1 and 10 and multiply or move my decimal point to the left, I'm always going to end up with a number less than 1. So I'm moving it 3 places to the left. 1 place takes me in front of the 9. 2 more places brings me here, so it's 0.00975. That took me from behind the 9 to in front of the second 0 in front of the 9, or a total movement of 3 places. Now this last one, 3.43 times 10 to the 0. Remember, that exponent tells you how many places you're going to move your decimal point. My exponent is 0. I'm not going to move my decimal point. Hopefully you remember from the lesson we did in class today that anything raised to the 0 power is 1. That means 10 to the 0 is 1, and when I multiply by 1, I don't change the value. Okay, I'm going to let you try those next ones. We'll go over them in class on Monday and see how you did on those. Be sure to watch the next video.